we talked about the salary cap there, and one of the ways we get our information about the salary cap and contracts, CapFriendly.com, it's going to be gone soon. It's going dark. The Washington Capitals purchased the site, and they're going to be shutting it down over the next couple of weeks. The NHL doesn't love these kind of sites, Puckpedia being the other big one, because they feel contract information is, quote, proprietary information, even though we report when guys sign or re-sign with teams, the terms of that. You've got all-day coverage, first day of free agency on your network with the graphics showing the contract terms and lengths. But no, this is private information we don't want to get out. Just somebody actually happened to compile all of it and organize it. But no, you can't have that. And here's the other thing, too, which I find amazing. It was a heavily relied on tool for guys like us, content creators, but other teams were actually using it now as their source. So, like, it's kind of a crappy move to make. Like, is this in response to, like, all the long-term IR exploitation talk? Is that what is that what we're trying to do? Like, shut that down? Like, come on.
They're like, are we blaming the NHL for this, or are we blaming the Capitals for this? Like, who's getting the blame for this whole situation?
That's the thing. Are the Capitals just a convenient fall guy for what the NHL wants to do? Or like, did the Capitals have a reason to really step up and be the team to do it? I don't know.
I can see this as like, I'm not going to blame the Capitals. They're the ones who, like, they're the police who are showing up to break up the house party. Like nobody likes them, but they didn't just show up there. Somebody called them probably. And if I'm the Washington Capitals, like, we know how important that information is. Why would you not want to own that? Why would you not want to own that resource? Like, it can help you. I mean, it can help you circumvent the cap. That's probably what the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights used to be like, hey, how can we make the math work? Also, shout out to the good folks over at CapFriendly. I hope they collected a 9-figure bag because they deserved it.
I would think that the offer they got was just one of those where, like, we can't say no to this.
I don't fault them either for doing it. Like, I know it's shitty because we're losing such a great resource, but go and collect your bag, homie. You've earned it. This is a free tool that everybody's been using, and the NHL could have done it. But like you said, Gary Bettman is so out of touch with what's happening in the NHL. He's like, nobody wants to know this, right? The salary cap is the most important thing apparently in the NHL for why this league is so great and why players should love it and everything. But don't put everything together and try to make it better. Also, I couldn't believe how many teams use this free source as their means of, like, doing business. So that means there's a whole bunch of teams now that are going to have no idea how the salary cap works or how LTIR or all the moves that they can do. Like, they can't simulate buyouts anymore. They probably got it. Like, they got to go back and do it on a paper with a calculator and stuff like that. Instead of, like, I don't know. How many times did I put into, like, buying out somebody's contract into CapFriendly? Like, that's not that bad. We can do that. We can make that work. How much does it cost if I put Josh Anderson on, buyout? Like, okay, we can do that. So I want to see all these teams now scramble to kind of, like, build their own mini version of this so that they can manage the day-to-day, because the salary cap is important and you need this information to make those important trades or just, like, the day-to-day of the cap. But this should have been something that the NHL does. They probably should have bought this a long time ago. But Gary Bettman hates Canada. He hates fun. And now, like, we just have to blame the Washington Capitals for taking our fun away.
Now, what I'm worried about is, okay, so if the Capitals, because they know other teams are relying on it, well, now it's ours and you can't have this resource anymore. And yes, the professional sports teams, they'll get a development team in to clone the site and make it work on their own platforms, however they need to do it. But I'd like to talk to the guy who in Washington who thought about, like, whose idea that was to be like, all right, let's go do that. Let's go buy the site. And is Puckpedia going to get an offer they can't refuse now by another team that's just too lazy to actually do the development of it? Like somebody that's, somebody that the team equivalent that waits to the night before to do the assignment. Are they going to go after Puckpedia and be like, here's a blank check? Like, then what?
Maybe, but I mean, look, all I was like, if I'm the Washington Capitals, that was a move to make, because that's a great resource, because they're probably going to try to figure out how to bury a couple of contracts. So they got to, like, they're going to be using the simulator probably quite a bit, and they got to see how they can fit all of that. But it's not even that. All the, like, nuances of, like, the contracts for, like, rookies and, like, arbitration right, like, there's a lot of rules when it comes around contracts, and even, like, the trades and the clauses and everything. And, like, it's such a good resource, and it sucks that it's closing, because, like you said, I I don't remember a time that I haven't really used it. Like I didn't really use Cap Geek when it first came out because it probably like it wasn't as big, but that's where CapFriendly has come from since, and now it's just a tool that we all use. So thanks for ruining the party, Washington. You were frauds all year, and now you take away our fun in the offseason. Just
Crapitals.
yeah, just send them to Mars.
I know you said
Relocate them there.
the NHL doesn't love these sites, but is it possible that they are trying to create their own version of this, considering how successful CapFriendly was?
They can't even run an advanced analytics. Have you ever gone through that? Their website is terrible. If I'm looking for any type of advanced analytics, I never go to the NHL's website for anything. I go somewhere else. Like that's how bad they are. Like I'm never like, oh, I want to check standings. Let me go to NHL.com. No, I'm always going somewhere else. If I want to see expected goals for, I'm not running to the NHL. The NHL does not. Gary doesn't care. Gary thinks people like to watch NHL games to see the digital ads on the boards. Like he has no idea what's going on. So no is to answer the question.
And for like basic stat stuff like Pro Hockey Reference, Basketball Reference, like those reference sites, those are the authority on like just your straight stats and your
actual stat trick. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm going there. If I want to see how bad Darnell Nurse is at 5-on-5, I'm not going to the NHL's website to see it because they don't have the information that I want.
Yeah, and those sites aren't going anywhere. I use the Baseball Reference one a lot myself. I assume that someone is going to come up with a site like CapFriendly, whether it is to, make it brand new and refresh with new kind of, statistics and stuff like that, or an analytics, or they're going to do it because they saw the payday that the people from CapFriendly got, and they're going to try to get that as well. So I assume we're going to get another site like this at some point.
Hopefully. We'll see. It's going to be dark in a few weeks, and that just kind of stinks. The first time you go to look something up and you go to CapFriendly and it's like the site's no longer here, that's when it'll hit.
Get on it, Chris.
Hey, I'm not that smart. That's somebody else's department here. I'm the one who needs I need the buyout calculator so I can figure out how we're moving on from Josh Anderson and Brendan Gallagher. I'm not, or how much cap space do you have once Carey Price hits LTIR? You know what I mean? Like that's what I need. I can't build that.